Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Tundex back for another video. So, I just want to talk to you all really quickly about a little game that I've been playing and I beat and have still been playing. I started a second playthrough of it. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So, as you all know, I recently got one of these things right here, the Nintendo Switch, and also I got Breath of the Wild. It came 2 days early on the Wii U before I even thought about getting the Switch, and whatever. Hello phone, we're gonna turn this off so that I'm not getting notifications, but it's gonna be off the cuff. We're gonna keep on going. So, I got Breath of the Wild, and combining this and the Wii U version, I would have to say I have about probably about 90 hours in the game now. I'm not sure. Let me check right now. The Switch doesn't have a way to really check. You can't bring it up to show you how many days or how much time you've spent on it, because if you look right here, you can see that it has that I've been playing Breath of the Wild, but it says that I started playing it 8 days ago. That's all it says on there. So, yeah, whatevs. But anyways, I've put so many hours into this game. I've completed the story, and I've gotten a lot of experience with the game. So I just want to talk to y'all about what I think about it. There have been so many people, so many websites, and people saying that it's a 10 out of 10, it's a perfect game, blah, 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 blah. I would say, as a huge Zelda fan, my freaking backpack is Zelda, and I take it to work with me every day, and my students see it and don't even know what it is, but whatevs. But I'm a huge Zelda fan, and I've been playing it since, well, the first real one I played was not Breath of the Wild, A Link to the Past, and that's when I really got into the series. But I've been playing since the first one on the NES, and I really didn't like that one. But that's neither here nor there. We're here for the Breath of the Wild. So, first things first, Breath of the Wild is a game that it breaks anything that you think about Zelda. You know how you do story, you go to a dungeon, you get an item, you rinse, repeat. That's pretty much how Zelda has been. And I mean, that's not a bad thing, because it does a good job with balancing story and balancing combat and dungeons. And it really fleshes out the characters that you're working with and gives you an opportunity to really experience some things. But it holds your hand through the whole experience, and since Ocarina of Time, it's always been your Navi of the group saying, hey, listen, you need to do this, and Fi, or Fi, however you want to say it, was the absolute worst when it comes to everything. She was so annoying, but it was a needed, well, not needed, but it was just something that they had in the game, which is a huge contrast to the start of the series with the original Legend of Zelda that was completely open-ended, and you can do whatever you wanted to do as long as you had the items that you needed. Now, Breath of the Wild, it does have a tutorial area on the Great Plateau, and that's what everybody saw at E3 and things of that nature. And on that Great Plateau, you get everything that you need. You get your 4 runes, which would be the bombs. You get stasis, which is like kind of stopping an object in time or whatever. You get your magnesis, and you get the ice, where you can make ice pillars. And then later on, you get a camera. I'm going to call them apps. They're runes, but you get they're apps pretty much. You got an iPhone. That's how it seems. But you get those different things. And then once you get all that, you get your paraglider, and you're off into the world. You can do whatever the heck you want to do. And what I find really cool about this game is it does give you all the tools, where prior Zelda games have had it to where you would get an item per dungeon, and that would add on to your arsenal and unlock this area. Like, you might come somewhere and see a big boulder that you want to get past, and you can't blow it up, you can't pick it up. But then you go and get the gauntlets, and then you can pick up all the boulders like that you saw, and it opens up more of the world. Breath of the Wild, nope, you got everything right there at the start. So if you want to go and kill Ganon and get Zelda, you can do that from, I'll say, not the start, but as soon as you get off the Great Plateau, you get that mission of defeat Ganon, dang it, you can go defeat Ganon right then and there. It'll be a dang hard task to do, but you can do it if you so choose. Or if you want to take the more scenic route and go around and actually follow the main story, you can do that too, and it's really cool. Um, it's just so open-ended. You see a enemy camp and you want to go in there and raid them for some weapons because you're running low. You can use your runes and pick up a metal box and swing it around and hit everybody with it and drop it on their heads to kill them. Or you can paraglide over, drop a bomb in there around where they have their own explosive barrels, blow them up to take out the stragglers, the weak ones, and then you can go in and finish them up. Or you can go in at nighttime. You can creep in, do a stealth strike while they're sleeping, pick up all their weapons so they won't have any defenses against you. Any way you want to play the game, you can. Pretty much, if you think about it, you can do it. It's like, hey, I wonder if this will work. Most of the time, yes, it will. You can also, when it comes to, oh, okay, this one, it's very different as well. It doesn't have the regular dungeons either. There's only 4 true dungeons. And then there's about 120 shrines and 900 Koroks to find, which is, the Koroks, they're a race of, they were in the Wind Waker first. They're a race that's in the game, and you can use them to expand your inventory, which is good, but 900, that's a little much. Anyways, the shrines and the dungeons. The shrines are little parts where you go inside. Sometimes it's a test of strength. Sometimes it's a test of your mind, and you just have to do different puzzles. I find it so cool. Like, there were some motion-controlled puzzles that were on the game, and excuse me, just putting this to sleep. On those motion-controlled ones, it was like, think of the little the puzzles that you get that has a little metal ball in it, and you move it around to get it to the right place in the maze. There was one of those where you would tilt things around, which worked okay on the Wii U, but works so much better on the Switch, and I'll tell you why in a few seconds. But what I did is, instead of going through the maze, like say the maze is on this part, I flipped it over, and it was just a flat surface on the back, and I rolled the ball, and I flipped it up to where it would fall into where it needed to go, and it unlocked everything. But the motion control stuff works fine, and I really do enjoy using it, only in a certain play style. When playing on the Wii U, which I have it down here since I was streaming it, playing on the Wii U, using the motion controls from here, it works. You know, you're holding it, and you gotta aim like this if you want to, or use the motion for tilting the platform like I was talking about. It works, and the motion control works, but this thing is huge. And even playing on the Switch, which is a much smaller, sleeker system, and using the motion controls and aiming like this, it works, but I don't prefer it. How I like to do it is, all the motion is in the right Joy-Con. So that's what I do. I generally play Zelda just like this. And when I'm aiming, it works really well to aim with this. And when I'm tilting and doing stuff that I need to, it works so good to use the Joy-Con like that. So the motion controls, they work just fine, but Nintendo, you know that they know how to do motion with no problem. So it's neither here nor there. But the puzzles, you can figure out just different ways to do them that are not so conventional. There was a thing where you had to create circuits with electricity on the ground, and if you want to go about the puzzles the way that it wants you to, you can. Go find this ball that conducts electricity and has a little power source inside, and you can go put it where it goes and find it on the other side of the shrine or whatever. Or you can get one of the shrine, there's a one ball here and another pedestal for it here. And get all your metal items, and you can make a circuit and go right across here and activate it. If you want to do that, you can. You can figure out so many different ways to figure out so many different ways to solve puzzles, and that's just so cool. You have a bunch of tricks in your bag, and you use them however you want to to overcome the obstacles of the world, and that is so cool to me. Now, I feel that Breath of the Wild really does hold up to modern open world games. And I know a lot of people say, oh, it's baby's first Witcher, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't even degrade Zelda and say it's baby's first because it does have some really big intricacies to it. And you have a lot of planning and thinking that you have to do. And I feel that all of these open world games that everyone's trying to compare it to, they compare because they're modern open world games. But they don't compare because they all focus on different things. Zelda focuses on exploration and survival in the world. A lot of people have given it flack because of your weapons breaking and stamina and all that stuff, and some people who haven't even played the game are crapping on it for stamina, saying that it restricts the world to you. No, it doesn't, because if you don't want to worry about stamina, get some Endura carrots, and you get you can cook some stuff up with that. Give you 2 extra bars of stamina. There you go. You good to go. And if that's not good enough for you, you pick up all the equipment, all the ingredients that you want that replenish your stamina, and there you go. You're climbing up a mountain, and oh, I just have 1 stamina bar. Pause, eat some more stamina stuff, keep going, keep climbing. You are good to go. If you want to go through the whole game with 3 hearts and a whole bunch of stamina, put all your work into building up your stamina, you can do that because you can cook food that can give you up to 20 extra hearts. So even if you only have 3 hearts in the game, you can have up to 23. If you so choose to play that way, you can do it. It's open to you to play however you want to play the game. And I find that so amazing. And it's frustrating hearing people downplay it, saying that this is a restriction and it's holding you back. But guys, if you want to work around it, you can. So it's all there for you. This is also a hot topic, the weapons dying and breaking. Yes, it is annoying. I can't lie. Going into a battle and swinging it a few times and then saying, oh, this weapon is about to break. And starting off the game, there were so many times where I wouldn't use this weapon. And even now, still playing after playing for a long time, I won't use my strongest weapon to kill enemies. I'll look at it like, I can kill you pretty easily, so I'll use my weakest weapon. And it'll break eventually. But you know what? That's fine. I feel like they could last a little bit longer, or something they could do is, I think of Monster Hunter, how your weapons degrade and you have to sharpen them. They could put some kind of way to sharpen your weapons or something. Instead of it breaking, it could go dull. But I think that this is just a way to make it to where the game and the world is constantly evolving. And the situation is constantly changing. You have to adapt to the situation and survive. That's why it's Breath of the Wild. You're in the wilderness and you're surviving. You don't have a blacksmith at the ready to fix your weapons and give you new stuff. You have to take your weapons from fallen enemies or find them out in the wild, and you have to survive in the environment. So they could do some stuff, yes, but I don't have a big problem with the weapons. It's not an issue for me. But I do understand that that's not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. So open world is amazing, and the world itself, I don't think that a lot of people give this enough. They don't talk about this enough. The world is so alive and so vivid. It's mind-boggling, the things that happen in this world. Now, yes, there's plenty of games you can go around and gather flowers and gather this and gather that and make potions and things of that nature. Yes, that is a thing. I hear it's a huge thing in The Witcher, which is a game I'm about to start playing pretty soon, The Witcher 3. But here in Zelda, what I've noticed is, you go out, you're hunting different things so that you can replenish your health, and you're actually going and mining so you can use these things to help you to upgrade your armor, or you're mining to just make money so you can, go sell the stuff off and get better gear and everything like that. And just the world, like I was saying, how it's alive and everything. If you want to go up and cut down a tree just if you just want to go and kill all the trees in Hyrule, dang it, you can do it. And you can get all the firewood, and sometimes different things will fall from them, different items you can use for food. It's cool. It works. You can the rain, which is frustrating, is still a part of the world, and it makes sense that you can't climb as well when you're in the rain. Gosh, it's frustrating because it seems that it rains so much in this game, but to be climbing up a mountain, then all of a sudden it starts raining and you start sliding down. It's annoying. Or what always tends to happen to me is a mission where I have to go and light torches to a certain area, and it's like, oh no, you're about to be finished with that mission. Nah, fam, have some rain, put that out, and it's frustrating, but it's once again you're surviving the Breath of the Wild. You're in the ruins of Hyrule, and you see there's a few towns and stuff here, but you see the ruins of everything there because of the story. But I'll get into that a little bit later. Let me see. Anything else? Combat is decent. It's kind of shallow. You don't really get all the moves like the counterattacks and the rolling behind and all that stuff that you got from Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. So your arsenal seems kind of weak, and you don't also get all the extra hook shots and boomerangs and all that stuff to use with enemies. But you get different weapon types that changes up how you play, and you can use your runes and mix them into your combat too. So I mean, combat is cool and as creative as you want it to be. So I enjoy that quite a bit. But it's kind of shallow. That's all I'm saying. You backflip or sidestep, it slows down. Flurry rush and headshots with bow knocks them down. Good. And you can parry with your shield and then open them up for a counterattack. Just basic stuff. Nothing too big. Now to a few gripes that I have. One gripe that I have is the performance of the game. Now, oddly enough, I got more frame drops and everything on the Wii U version than I did on the Switch version. But I haven't finished the Switch version, and I honestly haven't played as much of it on the Switch. I've just been doing more exploring than I have finishing up the story and everything. So I have gotten on both of the games, though. Sometimes while fighting, it'll just drop down to 0 frames. You can't move. Nothing's happening. And then it'll come back up. I thought the game froze a few times, but it didn't. So, and that's happened on Wii U, and it's happened on the Switch. So, I don't think that either one of them is better with performance. You get the 900p on the Switch when it's docked, but it's still 720p, 30 frames a second. 30 frames, 720 when it's undocked, and 900p and 30 frames while docked. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal, to be honest with you. But the performance, it's done well. I'm not a frame rate whore getting mad about it's not 60 frames. If it was 60, it would be great. And I'm not going to say that it's not. And I don't feel that this is something that is not possible on the Wii U. I just don't think it's something that they were focusing on. I am the Wii U and the Switch. I'm sorry. I'm highly. I just believe that it can do it if it needs to be. But remember, this game was developed for the Wii U and not the Switch. And the Switch version is the port and not the original version. A lot of people don't tend to think about that. My other issue that I have with the game would have to be the story, actually. While it is a different take, Link has amnesia. He doesn't know what's going on. He wakes up after 100 years, and they're just talking about how he was this hero and blah, 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 and it's time for you to wake up and save Hyrule again. The story, I feel, takes a hit because it is such an open game. You don't have to go to the dungeons in any particular order. So every single dungeon is literally a rinse and repeat of the same thing. You walk in, the old champion from before tells you, oh, I died here 100 years ago. I'm happy you're here. Go get this map. Once you have the map, you can figure out what you need to do. Oh, you got your map now? So now what you need to do is activate all these nodes so you can regain control of the Divine Beast. Rinse, repeat, 5 nodes, kill the boss 4 times, and that's the 4 dungeons. So, and the story itself, when it comes to that, is just um, Ganon is just like this beast thing, and the champions in Zelda were going to try to push him back with these divine beasts, and Ganon ended up taking control of the divine beast and the guardians that you see running around. Um, and the divine beast, since they were taken control of, all the champions died defending them and trying to take the control back over. And then Link got messed up. I haven't really seen that story part yet, but he got messed up somehow, had a fatal wound, and then they ended up taking him to the place of resurrection. And Zelda ended up getting swallowed up by Ganon and has been holding him back for 100 years while Link sleeps. And she's getting weak, can't really handle it anymore. Link wakes up, and now he's going out into the world to take care of Calamity Ganon. But the way the story is delivered to you, it makes sense, especially how the game is, and since you don't really have a strict way or order to do things, you have to go and regain Link's memories based on pictures that Zelda took on the Sheikah slate. So, I mean, it works, and it forces you to explore, which is the big point of the game. But, you know, if you want a good narrative of things that actually happen to Link in the now, you don't really get much of that. But as far as the things that happen, the characters, I wanted to really get to know them a lot more, but you just don't. You don't really get to know them all that much because it's all in these cutscenes that you have to go and find. And speaking of these cutscenes, everything you've seen from the trailers, where you see little voice acting and stuff, oh yeah, there's voice acting in the game, but it's only in these little cutscenes and a few little story things here and there. Like when you first meet Impa, she says, "Oh, you finally awakened," and blah blah blah, and you hear that, like, "Oh, voice acting, here we go." Ha! No, because as soon as they get finished with their little introduction, they're mute again, and you're reading. You still read about 95% of everything in this game, and there's little voice acting sprinkled in here and there. I really feel like Nintendo, they took a step in the right direction, but they still have a long way to go. They don't understand. Like, if you don't want Link to talk, hey, that's fine. He doesn't have to. Everybody else can talk. Think of Persona for a minute, where it is very immersive, and it keeps you in the shoes of the main protagonist. You make all the choices, and he doesn't talk, but everybody else does. And I am perfectly fine by that. And it's still a very immersive game with the other characters talking. And I just feel like Nintendo in 2017, you should really be making your characters talk. If you're gonna have some of them do it, make all of them do it. Make your NPCs do it. It should be everyone talking. That's just how it should be. But you know, it's neither here nor there. It is a step in the right direction, and maybe going forward, they will kind of see, like, hey, this is how this works. Let's continue to modernize our company. But voice acting wasn't all there, but the story moments, it did help with that. But because of the world being such an open world game, I feel like the dungeons or Divine Beast were all carbon copies of each other, because I mean, you can get to any one of them at any time. So, and at the same time, they wanted to make it accessible to where if you made it to, like, say, the one in Death Mountain first, you would still be able to handle that. It's just like if you did the one in Zora Place first. And then the dungeons themselves, they are not the big, sprawling, well thought out, I get this item and have an elaborate puzzle to figure out with this item. It's not like that. And it's the first one that I went to, had me in there the longest time because I was thinking in old Zelda mind. But once I opened up my mind to the new concept of how it worked, of me taking control of this divine beast, making it move in certain ways or rotate in certain ways so that I can activate these nodes, I was done with each one of these in like 20 minutes. And these dungeons, they are not that hard once you understand what to do. So if you're looking for the old school traditional Zelda dungeons, you're not really gonna get that. It's not bad, and it's a trade-off for just being so open-ended that they just kind of had to dumb them down a bit. But did it hurt my experience? No. I still enjoyed the game, and I am playing the mess out of it. And I plan on getting all the shrines. Screw the Korok seeds, I'm not getting all that. But I do plan on doing pretty much a 100% run of this game, and I absolutely adore it. I love it. And I want to see more of this. I want to see more fleshed out side quests. I want to see more character development. And it's just such a refreshing thing to see Nintendo modernize one of their longest running franchises and make it stand up to The Witcher, to Horizon, to Skyrim. It's standing up to things that are in the now. And Nintendo is in the running right now, which is a very good thing. It shows that when you let some of the younger developers take control and get out of the old-timey grandpa Nintendo ways, you can do great things. Now, would I say this game is a 10 out of 10? No, I would not. It is not perfect. But it is definitely a wonderful experience that I recommend to anybody to play, especially people who have always, like, downplayed Zelda and Nintendo. Please give this game a look. If you have a Wii U around or somebody who has a Wii U or a Switch and they're playing this game, you need to play it. It's very good. Don't sit here and downplay it saying that it's not as good as The Witcher. It's not as good as that. It's not as good as this. They all have their differences. Zelda is exploration based. The Witcher seems to be more story based, with a big sprawling web of different combinations and things you can do in the story. And Horizon seems to be very combat oriented, where it is open world in the wild. It feels to me that it's more planning and hunting and combat. So, but I haven't played it, so I don't know. But this has been quite the long video, but I had a lot to say about this game. Let me know what you guys think about it. And sorry there's no gameplay. I do have my material, but Papa Nintendo no like YouTube, so I don't want them claiming my video. So that's why there's no gameplay. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, let me know. I will do more gaming discussions and reviews on this channel. Hit that like button if you like what you see. And until next time, it's been Tundex, and I'm out of here. Peace out.